Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business trainer, author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner, and the forthcoming book, Food Truck 201. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. All this week, I am talking to Chris and Chris Pearson from Pearson Street Smash Burgers and Melts. If you're a longtime listener to the podcast, you know I spoke with them last year in October. And we talked a whole week's worth of episodes, and that was starting on October 10th. They're back again to share more inspiration as they prepare to reopen for their second season. Today we're going to be talking about pennies and dimes. They're one of the many things that food truck owners need to pay attention to.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
It gives us a lot more freedom to think about extra things we can do to kind of bump up our own value, do a cool Burger Wednesday where we try and do something a little bit more special for the community in that kind of sense. We have time to put effort into those kind of visions instead of just scrambling.
Totally. More R&D to promote the brand for sure.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the burger, a specialty burger once a week. So you mentioned Wednesday. Is that like a day you'd want to bump sales up, or is that just a random day?
No, it's funny. We had a bunch of people tell us when we were at the convenience store that they were going to come by for a burger. And I said, well, there's at least 17 people coming. So I went online and I said, hey, it's Burger Club Wednesday. And I posted on Instagram and I put it on to Facebook. And then the following Wednesday came. And if people didn't come and said, okay, we're here for Burger Wednesday. So I took lots of pictures of it when it was there because there's lots of people. We knew they were coming already. So I just kind of labeled it. It was Wednesday Burger Club. It just created itself, to be honest, because I've already got people this year saying that they're ready for Burger Club Wednesday. So we'll capitalize on it. A lot of the things that we have on our menu are people made up themselves. So
yeah, so I was thinking, tossing this idea around with Corey yesterday, actually, to lead off the Burger Club. And Corey's been working all winter at a real upscale restaurant downtown Ottawa called 18. And, they have a really, it's a little bit more chef level, fancier type food. And he's been learning a lot of techniques and really gaining a lot of knowledge. And I want to give him the opportunity to translate that into the Burger Club, and we'll do some upper scale smash burgers.
Yeah, there's done. Smash burgers are it's a simple idea, but simple ideas are great carriers for good, super cool flavors. Like pasta is really just it's dough in strings, right? But there's a million ways to do pastas, just as there's so many different ways and different combinations to do burgers. It's something to be excited about.
He's been really working on his sauces and purees and blending flavors like that. And I think we can really come up with some cool smash burgers this summer.
Let me ask you this, since we're talking about chefs and procedures, what would be the most chefy thing you guys have on the truck right now, or you envision having in the future?
The most chefy thing?
The chef
and the two boys. No, I'd have to say probably our deep fried banana chango. That's probably the item we have on the truck that has the most procedural steps as far as preparation is concerned.
Right.
You have to make the cheesecake filling set, then you have to, assemble them properly, egg batter, wash them so they're sealed and they don't pop in the fryer. It probably is a good hour to produce 20 of them.
How many of those would you sell a day?
All of them.
We're selling a lot, yeah. We're definitely selling about 1.50 to 60 a week, I'd say. So, on average, 8 to 10.
Yeah, the Chango is actually a great example of what the storage is going to be able to do for us this season.
Yeah,
in that we're able to keep up with the demand of what we can offer people. Before, we could only do so many Changos, and it would almost be
we didn't have a storage.
We have Changos today.
Yeah,
Christy would put something out on the Facebook page, and they would be sold out that day, and we wouldn't have them for the night.
Yeah, they knew what I posted.
Yeah, we'd have to, on certain days, we'd have to run them out in the afternoon just to save 4 or 5 for the night crowd. It's crazy. But yeah, that with the extra storage and being able to improve efficiencies, we'll be able to focus more on bigger batches, storage of fresh item, right? So we prep it and it stays in the fridge. We don't freeze it and pull it, right? So, again, we have shelf lives on the product, so we should be able to maximize on that a little bit more.
It just sounds so exciting to me. I love hearing the process because you guys are very well organized, and it's just amazing what you guys do. So,
but you got years and years and years with franchise restaurants.
Yeah, that helps.
I was with the Moxie's group. You got a couple out there now in Texas, I think, Dallas and Houston, Miami, I think. So very systematic and procedural in the kitchens.
Yeah,
so
you
we took the good habits.
A few tricks.
Yeah.
And I'm the persistent eagle.
Well, I find franchises are very, they're very geared towards, obviously, they want good food and a great experience, but they're money-making machines, right?
Yeah.
And they watch every penny. When you're a chef for a franchise restaurant, that's a popular restaurant, you know what I mean? You don't get to work a ton on food expression, right? Because your executive chefs are feeding you, you get opinion and stuff like that. So you really get to exercise your procedural and systems and how to maximize your dollar and not leaving pennies and throwing pennies in the garbage and stuff like that. So you really get to sharpen your pencil on your operations. So we got that on our side. So that's good.
That whole procedural, all the mechanics that go with that, a lot of people don't have that when they go into opening some kind of restauranting business. And that really, a lot of money falls through the cracks.
Yeah.
A lot, every penny, every dime really adds up when it comes to restaurants.
So good to hear you say that, Corey.
I know these things. Well, but it's different. Right? So working in fine dining this winter, there is an acceptable amount of stuff you just throw away. When you have to burn Waz shallots or do a really fine dice on something, it is, throw away those scraps. We don't need them. The people are paying $60 for an appetizer. They don't want your scraps.
No.
Right? They want the full thing. So it's a really big change in mindset when you have chefs that work in franchise work. And when you get to the more chef-owned businesses at that level, that the food costs themselves, it's an entirely different industry. And
it's interesting. That's an interesting view on that. That's cool.
It's a very interesting view. And their food cost is 30%.
Right.
While at a Moxie's, food costs would sit around 2022.
Interesting.
And that's a tough concept to get across to people. One thing I want to say for the folks that will be listening is we are talking, the rate of exchange is different in Canada than it is to the U.S., but the percentages are always going to be the same.
Oh, exactly.
So when you guys are talking dollar amounts, they seem really inflated to somebody in the U.S., but a percentage is always going to be the same because you're still paying the same rate of exchange for the raw material as you are when you turn it into a retail product. So that 22% food cost is a great food cost.
Yes.
But I also want
as low as 16% before, and it's nuts.
Right. Exactly. And that's achievable. A lot of people are so afraid of pricing their food for what it's worth.
Well, we definitely a lot of anxiety and stress the last couple of weeks with that here.
Oh, really?
We have to redesign the menu, and we added a couple things just that were popular last year that we had off menu. But we have to put a lot of prices up, and that makes me nervous. And they didn't go up a dime or 25 cents. Our commodities have taken a wicked jump, and they keep going. And then Ontario just hit us with another minimum wage hike. So our base labor dollar is $15 an hour as of October. That's a lot of that's a lot of pennies off the dollar. So we have to jump it up quite a bit. So it makes me nervous, how people are going to perceive that.
So just in general, how big of a jump did you have?
I put my base burgers up about $1.50 to $2 each. Yeah, but basically I had to raise my average guest check to about $2.50. $2.50.
Okay, what was it running last year? Just so I got that comparison.
Oh, I was around last year. I was around 13.
So now you need about $15.50 or so.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, comparatively, that's not a bad place to be.
It's not a bad place to be, but it's like the mentality of a truck up here is different than the mentality down there. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of people come to the truck and they recognize the fresh product and what they're getting, so they're okay to pay with it. But people go to the trucks that they're going to give us a 10 and get change and walk away full.
Yeah.
Up here, like there's that,
Really?
because a lot of the trucks traditionally have just been, frozen patties, carnival food, right?
Not just trucks around here, but
Yeah.
also the brick and mortar around here.
Yeah.
The food culture in Ottawa and the areas around Ottawa aren't very developed when you compare them to a Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, or any major city in the States. It's people expect low quality here.
Really?
Yes,
So
yeah.
Like they expect low
But they don't-
quality, but they don't know it's low quality.
Yeah.
It's just what's always been out there. Like there hasn't been any restaurant up here that's tried to be more than what they are.
Folks that try your food are super impressed then.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is 100% correct.
And and I know people will be fine paying for it, but it's just that initial. There's still that population that are so stuck in. Then you should be able to feed the family for under $20 at a food truck because it's just burgers, right? But that makes me a little bit nervous. I just don't want to. I don't want to, like, we had 21,000 transactions. 21,000 transactions through our point of sale last year. I don't want that to go down because I don't want to do the same sales with less transactions.
Right.
People come in the truck. In my average. Just sales is an important number, but if you don't have the people, if people aren't coming to the truck in abundance, the same as last year, that's an issue.
Mm-hmm. And that brings up another good point with the guest count, because when I teach people, I break it down. This is how many people you need coming to your food truck every single hour. And, whatever that number works out based on their menu and their expenses, that gives them a number that they should be able to recognize. Whether it's 20 or 40 or 60, you got to have those people every single hour. And if you're not getting those people, doesn't matter what you're selling, you're not going to make money because you don't have enough income, but it comes down to people.
Exactly.
Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about applying what was learned last year to make this year even better. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you find all the information helpful to your business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We got a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from just starting brand new beginners to decades old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you and your food truck business. Again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business.